Hello, social media. This is Sikich Live, and I'm your host, Mike Tegeter, coming to you from the Windy City, home of Deep Dish Pizza, Chicago, Illinois. If you haven't heard of Sikich before, we are an accounting, advisory, and technology business consultancy helping to digitally transform the world we all work in. Each week, Sikich Live comes to you with the latest and greatest in business applications, including ERP and CRM, of course, managed services, cybersecurity, IT infrastructure support, and so much more. Before I bring on our guest for today, I do want to remind everyone, don't be shy on Sikich Live. Add your questions and comments, and they just may be featured on today's episode. Now, more than ever, companies need a service operation system, that is flexible, easy to use, and access from anywhere at any time. That system is Salesforce Service Cloud. Salesforce Service Cloud unifies service and systems into a user-friendly interface that you can access from mobile, work from home, or right at the office. Now, I'd like to introduce our guest to talk a little bit more about what Service Cloud is and how it can help you achieve your goals for customer satisfaction. Welcome, Ariel Ward, Senior Consultant here at Sikich. Thanks for joining us today and answering a few of my questions about Service Cloud.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here. So a little bit about Service Cloud. I think that the best way to conceptualize Service Cloud is thinking of it as your communication hub to your customers. Right, so a lot of Service Cloud or just customer support has a lot of inbound channels and ways of communicating with the customer. So what Salesforce has done is it's really created the way for you to connect your email, your phone, social media, chat, even self-service. They also have a product called SOS for video and including messaging. So if you also are a business that communicates with WhatsApp to your customers, then you can also implement something like messaging. And so then what it does is it takes all of those communication channels and puts them into one window. It helps you prioritize and load balance those to make sure that you're giving those work items, as they call them, to the right agents at the right time. And then it also helps answer one of the big problems in Service Cloud, which is how do you get those channels to your agents? So now you have all these inbound communication channels. And one of the things that you can leverage with Service Cloud is omnichannel. So omnichannel is a way for you to distribute all of these items to the right people. You also have rules and queues, so you can set up different queues based off of different purposes to make sure that you're sorting your cases and all of the inbound items into the right places. And then you can also get a little smarter with AI and Einstein case routing. Things that Service Cloud also does, and one of the issues that it can also help you with, is meeting your customers' demands. So that's where Salesforce also has workforce engagement, which allows you to better track your skills, better forecast volume, and just forecast in general. Let's say there is a new sale and you may need more support. You can do all of that with Salesforce.
So one thing that Salesforce is, of course, known for is the Sales Cloud, right? How is the Sales Cloud different from the Service Cloud?
So this is a common question that I get asked because I think Salesforce historically started as CRM and it started as a sales tool. And since then, Salesforce has broken out into a bunch of different clouds and offerings. And the best way to think of Salesforce now is not just Service or Sales Cloud and as a CRM, but just as a bunch of ways for you to connect your data and transact your data on the cloud. So Sales Cloud is something that you would consider, if you've used Sales Cloud before, you're going to work a lot off of your opportunities. You're going to think about your sales, your pipeline, and then you may even get into CPQ, which is your configure price quote. It'll help you model your sales processes. And then Service Cloud will build more off of your cases, right? We talked a lot about those communication channels. One of those ways that you can track the interactions is going to be through your case feed. And it also help you model your service processes. So, and track any of your like SLAs, entitlements, anything, all those interactions are going to be done through the Service Cloud. And then the special product, in similar way that Sales Cloud has CPQ, Service Cloud has field service as well for when you're doing work on the field.
Now, how are you seeing Service Cloud really play out in the field of our clients that we're working with today?
Yeah, so in Service Cloud, if you're not already on Service Cloud, a lot of companies really do start out with Salesforce in the Sales Cloud arena. And then maybe they start with another Service Cloud or service support product. But at the end, what a lot of businesses, as they grow and scale, end up facing is how do they connect their teams? And so Salesforce being a really solid sales product and also a very solid Service Cloud product or service product for your support teams, it makes it really easy for people to transition their teams from any other product that they're using to communicate with their customers into their sales and service to connect both of their offerings. So actually, Salesforce also publishes a really great research paper every year. And then the most recent one, there was a really interesting statistic that said 79% of service professionals say that it's impossible to provide great service without a complete view of customer interactions. So when you do connect both your sales and service, and there's also a bunch of other offerings, then it allows your service people, for example, to see what has been sold to your customers, what could they potentially sell to your customers, how can they better support them, what products do they own that they need help with. All of that's all in one platform for them to review.
So, question for you. The Service Cloud is not only just for the company using Salesforce, but rather Service Cloud is also has a customer-facing user interface and platform, right? Am I correct there?
Yeah, so Salesforce also has it was rebranded to be Experience Cloud.
Yeah.
And so there's a partner and a customer portal. And in the customer portal is where Salesforce has built out a lot of the self-service. So it's really easy to set up the data infrastructure for your customers to be able to see, for example, what cases they currently have open. It also gives them great access to a public knowledge base so that way you can implement knowledge-centered service. And in some cases, you can also, if you would like to integrate chat. So instead of having to find a third party as a chat provider, you can actually leverage Salesforce Community and their chat agent directly in there. And it's actually pretty easy to set up.
Yeah, really interesting. I think that's just so important for the customer to really see what's going on in their entire environment. Not only can we see the customer 360, but they can see their case in a 360-degree view as well too, which really helps on that service side for sure. So how does, there's a lot of different options on the market right now, especially for service that we see out there. So a lot of people are shopping around to see what is the best service product. How does Service Cloud with Salesforce really rank among the sea of competitors?
So Service Cloud is definitely one of those products that is known, and I think Salesforce even advertises the #1 Service Cloud platform, or just it's the #1 product in that area. But if you also go to G2, which is a website that helps you rank and rate any sort of enterprise products, it does rank out of, I think, 1,500 reviews, a 4.1 out of 5 stars.
And what are some of the features that you see organizations using the most?
So some of the more advanced features that I see organizations using the most is actually omnichannel. But if you think about probably the most leveraged ones would just be email to case. So when you're starting out and you're in the implementation, let's say you're a smaller business or even a larger one, the first thing that most people will ask to implement is how can we make sure that our inbound email channels are getting routed to the right people? Because email is still the #1 communication channel for most companies.
And so Salesforce Service Cloud handles that. This omni-channel is what handles the email intake.
Yeah, so omnichannel is basically, it takes all of these transactions from all of the communication channels and connects them to what is known as a work item. And in that way, it helps distribute it based off of what skills you might have available for agents available at the same time. And so then your business can then customize based off of how you want to prioritize or how much weight you would like to give those items so that you're giving people the right amount to be able to work on.
So Ariel, where can, if someone's listening right now and interested in finding more about Service Cloud, what are our next steps with Sikich?
Next steps with Sikich would be reaching out to our Salesforce team, and we can absolutely give you some either use cases or papers and give you some more information on that. And likely I'll be on a call either with myself or Jenny, and we'll talk through your business use case and see where you're at.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks. I don't have any more questions for today on Service Cloud. Really appreciate you being here today. And I want to reiterate, if I can speak today, yeah, feel free to reach out to sikich.com, which you can find, I think it's right there right now at the bottom of your screen. Also on LinkedIn, you can find Ariel, myself, so feel free to reach out directly there if you're watching from our social media channels. Thanks so much, everyone, for being here today. Again, we are on Sikich Live every Thursday at 2:30 Central Time. So see us next week, and we'll see y'all later. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Ariel. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.